Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa, an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for the 2024 season, and this is Believe in Colts.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen, back with Believe, brought to you by BetOnline. And hey, it's Sunday, and it's cooking out here. I mean, it is absolutely cooking. It's like 90 degrees. Had a little bit of rain earlier, so not only is it really hot, it's also very humid. So, whoo-wee, scorcher. Now, here's the deal. We're hoping that the action on the field will be scorching just as much, all right? Last time I came out here, I focused in a little bit on the defensive side of the field. Today, we are going to be focusing on the offensive side of the field. We're going to get a look at Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, the offensive line, and especially those wide receivers and tight ends. See how that is going to turn out, because we all know that we've got 5 wide receivers that are fighting for different positioning on the field besides Michael Pittman Jr. You know, we have our second-year guy, right? And then we've got a rookie, and then we got a third-year guy, right? And then, of course, we got Doolan, right, is looking for his spot because of last year. His injury kept him out. So, and then the tight ends, we are so deep at tight end, I don't know what we're going to do. We have too many spots at those positions between wide receivers and tight ends, all right? So the question remains, how many of what position are we going to get? Because we can't have 5 and 5. That's just too many skill position guys, all right? Are we going to keep 5 wide receivers? Remember, last year we started the season with 3 wide receivers on the 53-man roster. 3, all right? And we had like 4 or 5 tight ends. We're going to see what happens this year. Now, I think Ogletree is almost guaranteed. Might even end up being a starter on the team. I think Granson's going to get there. I know there's a huge push for Jelani Woods, right? But he's got to show out, right, in order to get that spot, because he is well far behind due to his injury history that he's had so far this year. We know that a couple days we've had big exploits from Alec Pierce. I want to see if that continues as well as he runs with the first team. Of course, Michael Pittman has been getting his. We want to know what A.D. Mitchell is going to be looking like as well. He's had a few flashes here and there, but from what I understand, he still looks like still has the rookie learning curve that he's working with. So could take a little time before we see him starting being worked in with the ones, maybe even during the season. So we'll see how that works out. But what we got right now, like I said, it is a gorgeous day. Got some cloud cover, a little wind, as you could probably hear. But that's Colt City behind me. And here in about an hour, we're going to see the field. So, and then of course we'll talk to some coaches and some players afterwards, and we'll get right back to that. So see you in just a moment. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline. The game starts here. All right, so it is the beginning of training camp Sunday. Beautiful day outside. Getting ready to head up to the front. As you can see, we got some people already up there. We are crowded. Today was a $5 admittance, and got people all over the place. A lot of local media here today. At least there's some shade for your, you see that big with the white top, that's the shaded area that is for season ticket holders. And then you got the regular seats that were $5 today. It's pretty impressive that you get a lot of sales to come in even on a Sunday. It's not like, one of the joint practices that are also $5. But it's a weekend, so a lot of people have weekends off, especially on a Sunday, right? So just to get a look at how big this actually is, that goes all the way down there. And you see how absolutely massive, and that's just this side of the complex. That's just the lengthwise. It's pretty large. Really, this is considered Westfield, but it's just outside of Westfield. It's got a bunch of soccer areas and stuff as well, right? And Grand Park also has a bunch of softball fields and baseball fields and all sorts of stuff. So, all right. You see the police right there guarding the entrance. They do that every day. Every day here at Grand Park. The security's been much better this year than what it has in years past. Now, generally we do see police officers, about 6 or 7 of them, but we got more coming in. And there's Giovanni walking up, getting ready to do his thing. He's walking really well. Good for him. And we got some national and local media. We should be allowed to be walking up there here shortly. Any moment, people should be walking out. I think I'm gonna start heading out now myself. I think it's about time. Oh, kicked the camera. That was absolutely brilliant of myself. And get the look of walking up into it. I'll take it nice and slow so that I'm not ahead of anybody else. Let's see here. The Indy 11. Interesting. Indiana's soccer team, I guess. All right. Should be seeing people coming out shortly. We do have a nice breeze, though. It kind of helps with the heat a little bit. Could be a lot worse. But that sun beating down on my back, that don't feel too hot, I'll tell you that much. That don't feel good at all. Thank goodness we got some tents for media to be able to jump into if we need. There's event staff doing their job very well. There's all the stuff that happens here on the Colt City. Bunch of stuff kids can do. You have concerts, people singing, stuff like that. You get to run a 40 right there as well. Test your 40. That's interesting, right? And then test yourself against some other people, professional sports players, things of that nature. And of course, some of those tents back there are concessions and stuff of that nature, and you can buy memorabilia, things like that.
His whole plane. So you know it's Jordan right there. So his whole plane, wings, and everything. And the whole thing is covered. Whole thing.
Tail and everything.
Yeah. So then
Oh, you're good, Bill.
it was just great. It was just great.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
That's awesome.
I have to sit and chill and
You
wait.
didn't throw in like a smart.
Not allowed on the field yet.
I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you.
That's that.
I mean, it wouldn't be Jeffrey Gore without.
There's more to the story.
I know there's more to the
We
story.
got
than
too
that.
much media here right now.
Yeah. I know there's more to the story.
There's some weirdos walking in this damn tent now.
Well, we are pretty weird. Only because we know this guy. That's what makes us
Absolutely
weird.
right.
Not only do we know him, we claim we know him. That's
Yeah,
the worst part
that's
of
the
it.
scary part of it, right?
Trying
I'm doing good, man. How you guys going?
to stay cool.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a scorcher today.
I'm going to ask you.
Maybe we'll get some plays that are just as hot as the weather.
Yeah, I hope so. Are we allowed out there yet?
I was waiting. I think we are now. I think we're allowed.
Yeah,
now.
I'm sure.
I was taking my time coming out here because I knew we weren't allowed yet. So it is what it is. Got people, hello.
Also, the shirt is on for the most original, extraordinary fan for the Colts. Be sure to nominate yourself or somebody else that you know for a chance to be our Colts NFL Fan of the Year and win a trip to the Super Bowl. You can find more details on that right now at the info tent located behind the grandstand at Colts City. All right, just a quick rundown of what we can expect today. Again, we are practicing until 5:30, and it looks like the Colts are in full pads once again, so it's going to be a good day of work gearing up for preseason game number 1, which, by the way, is a week from today. Also, to help you, the defensive players are in white, and the offensive players are in blue. When they break up, the offense will stay on field 1, and the defense
There you
will
go.
move over to field number 2, where we go individual period. But it starts with a team stretch that's coming up. And we'll do a ball security takeaway circuit in our first individual period. The offense and defense will break up. Individual drills, ball security by the offense, and takeaway circuit by the defense. Routes versus air in that session as well for the offensive players. Our first 11-on-11 period will be a third down period, a compete period between the offense and defense. Again, focusing on third down. Then we'll go special teams. Kickoff coverage is the focus there. Then back to the team period. First, second, third down, the middle of the field will be a concentration there. Then we'll break up for 7-on-7 and some O-line, D-line battles in the trenches. Then we'll do a developmental period, calling it the line of scrimmage. The quarterbacks will make checks and read the defense at the line of scrimmage in 11-on-11 work. Then another team period, no huddle. Focusing on no huddle, a 2-minute drill, if you will. Then special teams, concentration at the beginning of practice will be a punt. And then our last period will be
Micah. Had a one-on-one with him last week. How you doing, Kent?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Hoping not to burn up today. I should have brought me a water. I didn't think about it.
They've been really good about passing them out.
Yes,
like
they have.
interns coming out. So
Can you send my ball? Here's my ball. Here's my ball. Thank you.
Oh, look at Micah doing it early.
Grammy, I need my ball. Thank you.
Micah doing signings early. Oops.
Thank you.
it's pretty nice.
That is incredibly nice. You don't see that almost never.
You got it? Thank you.
Yeah. Before practice.
But could you sign my poster?
You got to get out there and get some stretching done, though.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I don't own this square, so you're good. Can't, Mike. He's been here long enough to. I think he owns that little square right in front of the podium during interviews, though.
Wherever Rick Venturi is, I own the spot immediately to his left.
There you go. Almost had Donald Thomas here today, but my co-host, but his daughter won his softball game yesterday, so she had to start replaying at 3 o'clock today. So yeah, it'd been nice to have had my coach, because Donald's former right guard for the Colts, starting right guard for Luck. Back when Luck first came over here from Miami and then blew his knee out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's my co-host this year rather than Gerard Powers or 12.
We had high hopes for his halves.
Yeah. He got hurt. You know, he got hurt twice on that same play. Not only like the play before that, he tore his pec muscle, or no, his bicep. He tore his bicep, and then he went out and played anyhow with a torn bicep.
Did he really?
Then his knee went out and he was done. Yep, he was telling me that story not long ago. Well, yeah, last year he told me that.
Yeah, we barely got a chance to see him play.
Yeah.
There are a few guys like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles played a little bit.
Yeah.
And Thornton played a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Thomas played a little bit. Never came together for Grigson.
No. Well,
People blamed him.
He's the artist.
Not being protected, but
he tried. I mean, some of the things, obviously, you can't blame. When injury ends a person's career, there's nothing you can do about that, right?
What's your name? Taylor! Look at the yard! Jesse Miller?
Mullen, M-U-L-L-E-N.
Anthony, look at the yard! It's really you! Yes!
Yeah, Richardson went more free agency trying to protect Luck than he did through the draft, so. And just most of the time it didn't work out very well.
Those
That's
last
all.
3 drafts were awful.
Yeah.
Ewart was probably the best they had on all of them.
Well, Kelly was his last one.
13 to 15. Terrible draft. 16 actually.
Yeah, turned out pretty good.
Not hideous.
Yeah. Oh, they got the leg bands today.
What?
I just noticed they got the leg bands out today. I think isn't that what the green things are, the leg bands?
Yeah.
What do you want to wait?
If they come, I'll get it.
Hey, what's going on, man? Scared the hell out of me.
He's a big one.
He is. He's a good guy, though.
Is he?
Yeah, he's nice.
Baby, come here. Hey, I'm going to hit you with some water. I'm going to hit you with this water. I'm going to hit you with this SPF 50.
You think either of the interior guys that we got in the draft are going to work out to be decent?
I hope so.
I do too.
Portolani's a great guy. I know my nephew went to school with him in Wisconsin. Loved him. Thought he was a great dude.
Mm-hmm.
Gonsalves. I tried to get like Charlie Partridge to talk about him, and he just flat wouldn't.
Huh.
And he was with Pitt. You know, I mean, in Gonsalves.
All right, so I had to kill it there because the music started, and now we're going to be watching these guys do some stretching and stuff of that nature before it starts, just like we do every practice. And today I decided that I was going to go over and stay on the offensive side, being that last week I stayed on the defensive side. I haven't decided what I'm going to do this Friday when I go back, but we got a lot of clips of running backs and wide receivers, and obviously that man right there. Some things that I noticed today, during practice, was I am very much more comfortable now with our backup situation in case Anthony Richardson does end up going down or something, because Joe Flacco is very good in the pocket. He processes quickly. He's got a strong arm. He's pretty accurate. He stands tall. He's a very tall guy. And I really like Flacco as a backup, even though he's nothing nothing like Anthony Richardson when it comes to the physical, attributes from the waist down. He's nowhere near as mobile, right? But you can see he's taller than Michael Pittman, right? He's over there on the backside there. He's a strong arm, like I said. He's a good pocket quarterback. And to be fair with this team, you kind of saw it with the Browns last year, right? Everybody was practicing against an Anthony Richardson type quarterback. Their quarterbacks were mobile, right, with Deshaun Watson and all them. And then once they kind of went through those quarterbacks, like 3 of them or something during the season, they went and grabbed Flacco from off the couch. And no one was prepared and ready for Joe Flacco. And Flacco went out there and did his thing. So, in my opinion, I think Flacco's a good pickup. I trust in Shane Steichen to be able to flip the script a little bit with the playbook, call plays that are more for Flacco than it is for like an Anthony Richardson or something. A lot of people might be like, well, still got Sam Ehlinger. He's kind of mobile. Yeah, but he doesn't have the arm talent that either guy, Flacco or Richardson, has. And I just, both those guys are better quarterbacks overall. Even at Flacco's age, he's still a better quarterback overall than Sam Ehlinger. This is a practice that, very upsetting when it comes to the quarterbacks, especially Anthony Richardson in this practice. He was so inaccurate at this practice. The last practice I went to, he was pretty darn accurate. I mean, he was throwing dimes. But it wasn't just Anthony Richardson. All the quarterbacks were pretty inaccurate during this practice. But he was throwing some really bad balls. He threw one of those passes that actually went, first off, he had to scramble. All right, it was during a 7-on-7, I believe it was. And he got some pressure on him. He, climbed the pocket, rolled out to his right. While in stride, threw a ball. And it was such a bad pass, I kid you not, that I was standing there with 2 other guys, and I was like, who was that pass intended for? And one guy named one player, another guy named another player, and I thought it was a different player that it was intended for. That's how bad it was. It was like 5 yards from any player. Any player, defensive or offensive. It almost, now that I, had time to think about it once I got away, it almost looked like a throwaway. Like he just threw it in the middle of the field to end the down. That's how bad of a pass it was. Which is possible. He might have just gave up on the play to live another down, and just threw the ball away, threw it in the dirt, But I mean, for the rest of the night, a lot of passes were still overthrows. I mean, he overthrew Granson. He overthrew Alec Pierce. And that's impressive that you can overthrow Alec Pierce. Because Alec Pierce runs downfield and, you know, I get it. Richardson's got a strong arm. But Pierce is known for going downfield. And it was not Pierce's fault at all. I think he got a fingertip on the ball. And that was it. He jumped up, got a fingertip on it, tipped off. It was just a bad night for the quarterbacks. Even Flacco was overthrowing some guys. There was a deep pass that should have been caught, in my opinion. The wide receiver, I don't remember exactly who it was. There was a couple passes that should have been caught. But they threw the ball. The pass was a little late coming out. Right? Oh, it was Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger threw it. Sam recognized it a little late, threw the ball. The guy was running downfield. I mean, he was deep downfield, 40 yards plus. And the receiver, instead of letting the ball drop over his shoulder so he could just continue sprinting and let the ball fall over his shoulder, he turned around and backpedaled. In which, obviously, at that point, you know, it went over his head just a little. I mean, it hit his fingertips, but it dropped the ball. Jelani Woods had a pass that went over his head. Now, granted, Jelani got both hands on it. He jumped up, got both hands on it, still didn't come down with it. It was also a really bad day for A.D. Mitchell. He had 3 drops that were dead in his hands, and they hit his hands and then went straight to the ground. Now, there are outliers in this, obviously. There was, you know, plays that Anthony Richardson looked really good in, you know. There were passes that A.D. Mitchell caught and took off with. There was some positives out of this, but for the most part, it was the offense not looking good. And some would say, well, maybe that's just a sign that the defense is getting better. These were unforced errors, okay? A baseball term, right? Unforced errors. Something that, you know, was not caused by the defense. The offensive person just did not execute properly. And hopefully, this is a learning experience. Now, a lot of this also, we talked about it on the sidelines, could have been it was hot. It was incredibly hot. After practice, I sat down and talked with defensive coordinator Gus Bradley, and I mentioned how warm it was, and Gus, his response was, they needed it. They needed a practice like this, where it was late in the day, really, really hot, sun beating down, you know, had to practice in this kind of weather because you're going to see some of this kind of weather, especially any cities that we have to go on the road in the South, right? So that was something that Gus Bradley pointed out, and I agree with him. You know, you need to be able to practice in multiple different environments. Here I'm moving the camera around trying to get a better angle of the quarterbacks and the wide receivers warming up. So I apologize. If you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize for the camera obviously being moved around. If you're listening to this, then I guess you don't see it, so it don't matter. But go check it out on YouTube as well. Hey guys, if you're listening to this on an audio podcast, leave a rating and a comment. I'd appreciate it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, man, smash that like button and subscribe. Get more content like this from me, multiple ways. Here we got the quarterbacks, tight ends, wide receivers all warming up. Kylan Granson had a day. I will say that. Kylan didn't have a bad day today. Kylan Granson had a couple routes that were caught for big gains. I'll give him that much. Kylan has looked good all camp that I know of. So that's a positive. I know a lot of people want Jelani Woods to break out, and I'm not saying it won't happen. It absolutely can happen, but he's got a pretty tall hill to climb, being that he's been injured quite a bit and hasn't had a lot of snaps. So we'll see what happens, but still trying to adjust my camera here. Other things that I noticed today or during this practice is that they move through their drills very, very quickly. Like occasionally you'll see them all do a drill and they'll stop for a second like they're doing here. And the coaches will tell them, okay, now we're going to do it this way. And they move on and do it right away, real quick, right? They don't waste a whole lot of time and effort. Here we go, bam. Now we're doing handoff drill, fake handoff, and then, this is RPO, right? Faking the handoff, and then get a pitch to have the ball again so you can throw the football. So you're doing the handoff, and then you get another football so you can throw it while you're scrambling out. This is a good RPO drill. Like this drill a lot. And everybody on the team is doing it, even Flacco. So that's something to watch. I remember last year, Steichen had everybody doing quarterback scrambling drills, right? Even Minshew, right? He had everybody on the team doing quarterback scrambling drills. I don't remember. Yeah, well, I guess they did do a quarterback scrambling drill later on here in a little bit. But I do like this RPO. And then here we got, they're doing play action. Right? Just handing the football for up the gut runs. And then pulling it back, making it look like he still had the football in his hands. The running backs don't look too bad. I think Sermon had a pretty good day today. Goody had a pretty good day. Goodson. So, like I said, it wasn't a terrible day for the whole offense. It's just the quarterbacks did not live up to what you expect, especially from your starter. Right? But I guess everybody's allowed to have a bad day here and there, right? That's how I see it. Something else. I love the fact that there were people in the stands that were dressed up. You had the super fans that were there. The one that looks like a Mexican wrestler, right? Dressed up like a Mexican wrestler. You got another one that shows up, looks like a blue demon. He does not. The person in that outfit, I don't know if it's a he or she. I spoke with them before practice began. That person does not speak. They do react to you like a mime or something, giving thumbs ups and stuff like that. And then there was another one that looks like a Colts clown, right? They're all very nice people. Shout out to both of you if you happen to see this or listen to it. It was a pleasure talking to you at practice. Met quite a few people out there, and if you ever come out here and you see one of your favorite guys, shout out, say hi, whether it's a beat writer or a podcaster or myself or anyone. Just, if they're sitting on the sidelines, you can always say hi to them, man. Generally aren't going to just straight up ignore you. There might be a couple beat writers that have kind of an attitude towards that, but and I'm not going to name names on who, but for the most part, we're all pretty eager to say hi because, you guys help pay our bills, right? And you're generally a good crowd to talk to. So appreciate each and every one of you. All right. So here we got another drill getting ready to come up. Looks like he's going to, they're going to run through stuff here. Quarterback. It's a quarterback drill, scramble drill, looks like. And they're telling him how to do it. Is that Shane telling him? Oh, no. That's the OC. The OC's telling him. All right. Jim Bob Cooter. All right. Let's see what happens here. All right. So, picks up the ball. He's going to run between two pylons, do the high step over those, and then throw the football. So, yeah. Quarterback drills for escaping pressure out of the pocket. All right. And then getting rid of the football. Pretty cool. Now, see, you don't see this stuff from other people. You're only going to see this and uncut from me. Now, obviously, I can't have the sound, obviously, because there's music playing in the background, and I don't have, copyright infringements, right? I don't have the rights to the music. That's why I've got to voice over this stuff. But still, had a lot of fun. I ended up walking out of this with a bad sunburn, by the way. I got a burn on my face and arms, but the one on the back of my neck, I remember driving home. I got home, I looked at my wife, I said, "Hon, I need you to look at the back of my neck. I feel like I've been slapped on the back of my neck about 20 times. And she said, "You look like you've been slapped on the back of your neck about 20 times. I got some aloe vera sunburn gel. And because I expected, I knew it was going to be hot. But I didn't want to use like sunblock, because I do need a little bit of sun in my life, right? Those vitamins and stuff that you get from the sun that you normally don't get elsewhere. Wide receiver drills here. Reggie Wayne, of course, wearing those damn arm pad things that he's known for. I mean, you never see him at a practice without those things on. But, wow. Some really good drills here. This is a really good angle at the wide receiver drills where they're just moving around the pylon, stepping through, turning around, getting the catch. Now we're going to come back to looks like we was going to come back to the quarterbacks, but looks like we're going to get some quarterbacks throwing the wide receivers now finally. So that's good. If I remember how this practice ended up working. Shout out to the Colts organization as well. They kept coolers full of ice water on the sideline for us. They knew it was going to be a warm day, and they kept that sucker full too. Every time it came down to like 6 or 7 waters left in the cooler, they went back and filled that bad boy right up. So I think this is where you're going to start seeing some of the mishandlings of the offense here on, your one-on-one drills, right? Quarterbacks to wide receivers. I'm going to get a little bit of angles here. But there we go. There's Alec coming out. I'll tell you what, Alec Pierce looks really good going in and out of cuts now. There's a huge difference between him going in and out of cuts his rookie year and the beginning of last year and what you see now. Right? Honestly, A.D. Mitchell looks really good coming out, going into a cut. That wasn't too shabby. A little bit of excess footwork there. I don't think he needed too much, all that. I get the jab, jab, jab. You're supposed to stab, stab, stab with your feet into the dirt to stop. But you should only need 3 stabs at most. There you go. That was good. Whew, that was a deep throw to Jelani. Oh, no, that was Mo. 81's Mo. There's Kylan. So on one side you got tight ends, on the other you got wide receivers. I had talked to Shane Steichen at the end of this and asked him because, last year we started the season off, we didn't have a whole lot of wide receiver depth, right? And we started the season off with only 3 guys at wide receiver. and like 4 or 5 at tight end. But we got more depth this year, right, at wide receiver, and still the same depth at tight end. And I was like, well, what are we going to do about that, right? What are you going to do about that when it comes to cut time? He's like, we're working through it right now. It's going to be a tough process, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. There's going to be some talent at wide receiver and tight end that's going to be cut that absolutely will be on another team before the season starts. I will almost guarantee it, because some of those guys are not going to make the practice squad, right? There might be a couple that they might be able to cut, and they may make it through waivers, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll see. But so this was a really good, fun time for me. It's about the end of practice, actually. I think there's only about 2 minutes left of practice. So I just wanted to remind everyone that I am here now. We're going strong. Talked to Donald. He was going to make it, but couldn't do it. I think he couldn't make it today because his daughter was at a softball tournament. See if I can't get him to show up this Friday with me. We could do this together then. But again, I'd appreciate each one of you. If you're listening to this in audio podcast, leave a rating, comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment, share this to your favorite social media. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This was Believe in Colts, brought to you by BetOnline, and as usual, go Colts.
Do you believe?